Hey guys, what's up, Redactions here and welcome back to this brand new video. Today we're going to talk about how to race go-karts in the wet. As you might be able to tell, I'm a kart racing driver and it's raining, so instead of just talking about it, I can actually show you. Now, before I can tell you how to race in the wet, first you have to know how to drive in the wet. So, with brand new tires on the kart, let's do a lap of Circuitpark Bergen in the wet. So, being fast in the kart in the wet is all about two things. The first of which is actually being able to find the grip. You see me take the outside line in some of the corners and absolutely destroying curbs in others. This is all to find grip. And it is different in every corner and something that you have to find out yourself. It has to do with the amount of rubber on track generally. The more rubber there is, the less grip you have in the wet. The second part is keeping heat in the tires, and you do that by doing this. So, big lock up on entry to warm the rear tires, slide understeer on entry to warm the fronts, and boom, grip. The next corner is a textbook wet line. Turn in late and abruptly, avoid the rubber and get on the power in a straight line. Momentum can be a little bit less important in the wet, it's all about getting on the power early. You see us take two different lines in the double left-hander, then cross a slippery rubber line to stay on the grippy part of the track and get a good exit of the right-hand hairpin. The next corner is a real momentum corner. Brake late, a smooth round line, on the power and away we go. The traction of the tonykart is insane in the wet, so is the confidence it gives, which allows us to absolutely send it over the last corner curb and complete a pretty decent lap here in the wet at Bergen. I really love driving in the wet. It might be easier in terms of physicality, but the skills it requires in terms of confidence, reading the track and especially the tires just suit me much better than driving in the dry. I can however get a little bit overconfident on the brakes sometimes and then stuff like this happens. Or this. By the way, you better make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It has been scientifically proven that doing so will make you 2/10 faster around any track. So now that you know how to drive in the wet, time to have some fun with this guy. His name is Ralph and he's my boyfriend, friend. We had some fun off track and you can see that in my latest vlog, which will be in the end screen. With the help of my beautiful assistant, let's go over how to actually race in the wet. Racing in the wet is all about preparation and mind games. Like I explained in the previous part of this video, in the wet you have a slippery and grippy part of the track. Of course, the other driver will always be on the grippy part, so you essentially have to go on the slippery part to overtake. That actually makes making the move stick difficult, since the other driver will always have a better exit than you. So, let's see how this works in practice. We go up the inside into the hairpin onto the slippery part, switchback. Ralph then goes defensive into the next big braking zone, putting himself onto the slippery part. I use his poor momentum to set up a switchback into the next corner, which we execute beautifully. Because I take a narrower line into the double left-hander, Ralph again does a switchback, which I immediately counter with another switchback, which sadly doesn't work out. Here Ralph takes the next corner way too tight, which allows us to get a rocket ship exit and absolutely fly past him. But Ralph is sharp and he does another switchback on us in the final corner, side by side, and unfortunately I have to yield into turn 1. He takes the wrong line into turn 2, which allows us to sneak up to him again and go for a move into the hairpin. Because I already did it last lap, I tried to confuse Ralph by going extra slow on the apex, but that unfortunately didn't work. Back in the slipstream I was thinking of something unthinkable. Remember last lap when we did the switchback on Ralph in the two opposing hairpins? Well, I imagined Ralph remembered that as well. So this time, instead of doing the switchback, I kept my foot hard in it and just go clean around the outside of him. Not gonna lie, that was one of the best moves I had ever done. And you clearly saw that the setup of this move began all the way back in that hairpin in the back of the track. Now in this session we were definitely faster than Ralph. We had the power of fresh tires and my absolutely giant cojones in the wet. Let's ride on board for a full lap of Bergen with no commentary and no music. The helmet camera gives you a pretty good idea of what I experienced behind the wheel. yeah, as you can see there, driving in the wet is really intense. The hits you get from some of the curbs can really dig into your ribs. Of course, our karts have no suspension and the seat is a fiberglass seat which is mounted directly into the chassis. So you basically feel everything the kart does, which is actually necessary, because that is the only way the kart can communicate what it is doing back to you. It can be a little bit tiring though, and that is why we decided to have this little meeting over here. By the way, if you want to meet fellow kart drivers from all over the world, consider joining our Discord server. We now have over 1500 members and the community is super active. Anyways guys, with that, also come to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of my driving style and also what you think of this style of video. I want to change things up a little bit and not just exclusively do vlogs, so I hope this is something you guys like. Speaking of vlogs, check out the video on screen right now. This video however is done and I'll see you all next time. Peace.